Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the NFL Draft. We're going to do a very intense analyzation here about first round and maybe second or third if we feel like it. So, why don't we all introduce ourselves? I'm Nick.
I'm Noah.
I'm Logan.
I'm Nate.
And we're just going to get right into it. All right, so we're going to start off with Fernando Mendoza, the most shocking pick of the draft. I'm sure none of you saw this coming. A real shocker.
I thought it was going to be Ty Simpson.
I obviously this is it's an A plus. I mean, what else is there to say? They get their franchise QB,
Maybe.
possibly better shot than any other QB in this draft, probably. But yeah.
Yeah, we all know you're a generational hater. Of
No,
any
I
other
like
QB
Mendoza.
in
I
this
like
draft.
Mendoza.
I like the pick. I don't really think Mendoza's going to be like the type of first-round prospect everyone's used to. I don't think he's going to be like a Joe Burrow type player, but I think he'll still be good. And I'll give the pick an A+. There's no other pick you can make.
Oh, I
at this
forgot.
spot.
We're supposed to be doing grades. I'm going to say here, A+ for this spot. I mean, there's no one else to go with, so A+.
I said A+.
I'm just happy that Mendoza got to update his LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to give it an A.
All right. So, now we get to talk about a little bit more of a controversial one here. David Bailey. My opinion here is that he was not the best available player here at number 2. The Jets, I don't really know. Like, Arvell Reese is a better talent. Let's just be honest here. The Jets are not a good team, and they shouldn't be trying to look for someone to fill in a spot. And I think they really overthought this pick. So I'm going to give it... I mean, he's still really good, but I don't think he's as good. I'm going to give this pick a B.
So the thing about people get confused a lot is Arvell Reese is not going to be an edge rusher in that league, but that's what everyone thinks. He's going to be more of a linebacker. So the Jets, it was really they're choosing between a linebacker that's insanely good at pass rushing versus a pure pass rusher. So they went with the pass rusher. I don't hate it. I think Bailey's going to be a great player. But yeah, I would have taken Reese in this position, but it's not a bad pick by any means. So I'd give this a B+.
The more I think about this pick, I kind of like it a little more. I wouldn't say I like it more. I think it makes more sense. The Jets are really in a bad spot, and they have a lot of picks in the future. So you're going to look for more proven players than a dude who you're betting more on potential on Arvell Reese. But the way I feel about David Bailey is I don't really feel like he's a good enough DN to say he can go number 2. I think his run stopping is a very big problem with his game. Elite pass rusher, but overall I think if I was the Jets, I still would have taken Arvell Reese. I don't think the Bailey pick is bad. It makes more sense the more I think about it, but overall I'm just going to give the pick a B+.
Shout out Dante Moore for cucking the Jets there. But the thing about David Bailey, he's going to get them sacks. It's just, as what Logan said, the run stopping is just way too questionable. I'm going to give it a B+ because I thought they should have took Arvell Reese because what Bailey said, he's going to play linebacker, but they can move him down the edge whenever they need at the same time. And that's why I'm going to give it a B+.
All right, thank you for parroting everybody else.
You all them before me, that's what that's to say.
Yeah, we're doing this the whole time.
Okay, so number 3, Jeremiah Love. I'm going to let Noah start off because that's
All
going to be
right.
more fun.
So for Love, this is an A.
Don't you dare defend this.
Shut up. You know
All
what's
right,
wrong,
I'm going to start off with the grade. I'm going a B-. Listen, they're getting an amazing
No
player.
way.
This is an amazing player, and he's going to do great there. Problem is, they did not need him. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a it's not a bust pick. Like, you know what I mean? They're like it's not an awful pick, but it's like you got a player that in a position you don't need. And I personally really want to see him in Tennessee, so kind of mad about it. But it's not a bad pick because he'll be a great player no matter what. It's just they have too many holes besides running back.
I'm going to guess the thought process here was that they just wanted to take the best player available. And I can't judge them for that because you're a 3-14 team. But let's think for a second here. They have Elijah Wilkinson slotted in as their starting tackle right now. That guy was washed up in 2021 with the Bears, and now he's slotted in to start for them. They could have taken Maui Goa here. That would have been a better pick for need. Maybe not as much talent, but you got to keep in mind, Cardinals, you have Trey Benson, young, and I know a lot of people don't like him, but that's still, you spent like a second-round pick on him 2 years ago. You have James Conner coming back from injury. He's still a viable back. You just signed Tyler Algier, who we all know is a capable back. Put up 1,000 yards his rookie season, and now this is the second time in his career where
He's been out-cheered.
he's been screwed over. Yes, he's been screwed over by a team drafting the top running back in the class, and then you let even Arvell Reese here. That defense was god awful last year. It was painful to watch Cardinals games. They would go down 30-0, and then they'd start scoring in garbage time. So fantasy players loved them. But if I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be kind of pissed off. So I'm going to give this pick a B- for the Cardinals.
Can I have one note real quick? I respect the hell of the Cardinals because this is going to be the most fun offense to watch, especially since they're going to be giving 50 points a game, giving up 100.
Yeah, with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback.
Yeah. He was leading the league in passing yards.
Shut up.
The way I feel about this pick is I think this is almost just going to be the exact same situation Saquon Barkley was in on his first contract with the Giants. I mean, obviously they did not want to pick at the spot. They were looking for a trade. They couldn't find a trade, but in my opinion, taking best available player should have been best available player, not including a running back, because you're not keeping this. They're not going to keep this dude after his first contract. I really think that this is a big miss for the Cardinals. I think Arvell Reese was the correct pick here. Maui Noah was also a very good pick here. Those are dudes that you're going to be able to keep on your team. Love is leaving this team once he gets first. This team is not going to be good enough to fit as good of a player as Love is. He'll be gone just the way Saquon Barkley was, and that's overall. They first two pretty much covered the rest. That's just what I wanted to say about this pick. I'll still give it a B-. I think he'll be productive for the years that he's there, but overall, I don't like the situation that he's going into.
Just take Arvell Reese. Who are the Cardinals linebackers right now?
I don't know.
Exactly.
They
And
should
their pass rush is
They should
Josh
have gone
Sweat.
O-line because I understand not taking a linebacker.
They don't even have an O-line. They
Well, they
should
have
take
one
Maui
tackle.
Noah or Arvell Reese. Either
Well,
or.
they do
Would
have
be better than Love.
They have Paris Johnson is really good, and
Look, there's a reason
they got
some
Logan.
teams stay bad for decades.
Just take Arvell Reese. I'm giving it a C+.
All right, so number 4, Titans take Carnell Tate. You know, I was 100%. Oh, they're gonna take Arvell Reese, but honestly, I think taking Carnell Tate was a great idea here.
I like how he compliments Wanda Robinson.
Having Wan'Dale Robinson, you're building around Cam Ward. They want to build around Cam Ward. They want to help him out however they can. They were probably hoping Jeremiah Love would fall to them, and they wanted to go offensive skill here no matter what, if I had to bet. And Carnell Tate, he's probably safer out of these top receiver prospects. And now the Cardinals offense, they have a solid O-line. Their running backs are very serviceable. And now you have a wide receiver room of Wan'Dale Robinson, who we all know is he's a solid number 2. You're hoping Carnell Tate can become a number 1. And then you got the 2 4th-round guys from last year in Calvin Ridley. So if you get any production out of them, I just think that's good. And I just think the defense they have top-end talent. They just need to bolster that in the later rounds. So I'm going to give this pick an A-.
All right, so I was thinking the Titans would take Love, but I see why they took Tate for the same reasons I am taking Love. They need to support their young QB because I always like the offensive pick here because if you draft defense and your QB just never works out, then you have to reset QB. So you need to help out that young QB, and that it was a great pick. You got probably the best receiver in the draft, and well, besides Tyson when he's not injured, but. So I give it an A because now he's got a big target to throw to. They got Wan'Dale in the slot, and they got someone who can be the Z. So,
in my opinion, I think this was one of the only spots where it has come acceptable to pass on Arvell Reese. I think it was a very good pick. Obviously, if Love was here, that'd probably be the main target. But Carnell Tate being here to complement Cam Ward and giving him a big weapon is – I really love that pick. I love that fit in Tennessee. And it paid off. They were able to get defensive guys in the second round. And I really just like this pick. I think it's going to help Cam Ward tremendously. I give it an A+ in my opinion.
I mean, just look at who Cam Ward was throwing the ball to last year. How many drops? Look at how many drops the receivers had. Just the help that he can get from Carnell Tate here. I'm going to give it an A. Just purely off the fact that this is probably a better pick than Arvell Reese for the Titans.
They went for the best player at the position they needed.
Yeah.
So I got to give them credit for that. And then number 5, the New York Giants take Arvell Reese. I don't think there's a way for me to criticize this. I think they did not expect Arvel Reese to follow them. They ran this pick in. Arvel Reese is probably he's got the most potential of any defensive player in this draft. And the Giants, their defense, it wasn't very good. Right? They signed Tremaine Edmonds in free agency. They've got solid DNs, so they're probably not going to be using Arvel Reese as a defensive end like a lot of people were thinking a top-end team would do or a top draft pick team would do. They have a good situation for him to come into. He can play alongside Tremaine Edmonds. He can let the other guys do the pass rushing, and he's still an incredible player. So I'm going to give this pick an A+.
Yeah, he pretty much said everything. I mean, their defense is looking pretty scary. I think they just need a safety now, right? That'd be about it.
You don't trust Tyler Newman or who's the safety?
Tyler Newman's slander.
I really think.
So I give it an A+ too.
I really think that there's only one other player that you could argue would be a better pick here, being Caleb Downs. But even then, I think the idea of just getting the best linebacker in this draft, I'm not a big Sonny Styles as the number one linebacker. I still believe Arvel Reese is a true linebacker. I don't think, especially on the Giants, I don't think he's going to be too much of an edge rusher. I think he's going to stay being that linebacker that you can bring up off the edge, but I don't see him becoming a full-time edge rusher on this team. I love the pick. I'll go with an A. I still think maybe it's not the best fit for a prospect, but I'll give it an A just because of how good of a player he is.
I think Harbaugh just wanted to get the best defensive player that he can
It
get.
also gives the Giants a ton of flexibility on defense. They can move him anywhere.
Look at their young D line and all the people they have, and with that flexibility with Reese, because they needed a linebacker, and there's a reason he was the number one linebacker coming into the draft. I mean, you could argue Styles here, but look at the production Arvel Reese has had. I'm gonna give it an A+. It's the best player available.
All right. Number 6, the Chiefs traded up 3 spots to go and get Mansour Delane. So I think Mansour Delane is a fantastic player. It's a great pick by the Chiefs. My only question here, did you really have to trade up for him? Because look at the board. The question here, why would you trade up for him? It was, in my opinion, this was kind of meaningless because even if they really liked Mansour Delane, Washington was not going to take him. The Saints were not going to take him. And the Browns were not going to take him. So I kind of question the means behind taking Mansour Delane. But at the same time, if you ignore all that, he's a fantastic player. 6 catches allowed his final season in college. And the Chiefs have no corners. I don't have their depth chart pulled up, but all I know is that they traded away their 2 best guys. Or no, they traded one away and let the other one walk.
Same team, too.
Yeah. And so corner was just a big need for them. Probably the biggest on the roster. I was scared they were going to go receiver, which I thought would have been a dumb pick for them, but they turned on their brain and they actually got a great player. So I'm going to give this. I would give this pick an A, but because of the way they did it, I'm going to give it a B+.
Yeah, so I'm giving them an A-. I would give them an A if they just would stay back. You wasted 2 extra picks for no reason at all. Like you just got trigger happy or something.
I wouldn't say no reason at all, but
pretty much.
I was a little cautious.
I think the Commanders really had a good chance of drafting Delane. I think Styles ended up being a perfect fit, but we don't know what their actual board was. I think there was a very good chance Delane was number 1 on Washington's board, but I think the idea behind trading up a couple spots is to really jump New Orleans. I think New Orleans was really going to be targeting Mansour Delane, and I think the idea was Cleveland was just looking to get out of that pick any way they could, so Kansas City was just taking their opportunity. I think Delane's a great player, and I think that the Chiefs still believe they have a roster worthy of contending for a Super Bowl, so getting the number 1 corner in Mansour Delane is kind of a we only need one guy type of pick. That pick is going to be more valuable than any of those late round picks they probably would have used if they stayed at 9.
He's the best corner in the draft. They got him, but the Saints, I thought they were either going to go Bain or Tyson. I don't think there was a shot they were going to take the lane there. And Commanders, the Commanders probably had the higher chance of taking him over the Saints, but they got the best corner in the draft by probably a long shot, but there's no reason to trade up for him. So I'm gonna give it an A just just because of the trade up.
I'm not gonna say there was no reason. I understand their concern. But honestly, I do think New Orleans liked Jordan Tyson and Sonny Styles was gonna go to Washington. And the Browns also got lucky here. We'll get into that. Logan, did you give your grade?
No, I gave it an A-. I just like to add one thing. I think if you look at where the Chiefs have drafted in probably like the past 5 years, they're always at the back end of the first round. They probably won't be drafting this high again. They'll never have that capital to give up. So I do kind of defend the trade up just by you're not going to be picking this high ever again, most likely. And to have the chance to go get a Mansour Delane is more valuable than any late round picks that you're going to have to give up for it. So
I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to up my pick to an A-. And now, all right, we've been talking about that for a while. Let's go on to pick number 7. Sonny Styles to the Commanders, I think. Look, the defense was another one of those where every play out there, they were just eating a total bag of shit on almost every play. They couldn't stop anything by the end of the year. Sonny Styles, outside of Orville Reese, is probably the best linebacker in this entire class. They were both fantastic athletes. And Washington, they're just going to take the best player for defense here that they can get. And Sonny Styles, I think, will fit the hole. Because who are their linebackers even?
Frankie Louvu, who is old as hell.
Frankie
Bobby
Louvu,
Wagner,
Leo Chanel, they did just get Leo Chanel.
Leo Chanel.
Oh, but they also are losing Wagner. Wagner hasn't officially come back yet. So.
Yeah, but still,
so as of now, they have no one
that's
there.
still amazing. You have Leo Chanel and Sonny Styles. That's a really good linebacker room. You just turned one of the biggest weaknesses on the roster into one of the biggest strengths, and you didn't have to trade up or anything to do so. And I do think that there's a good chance they end up making the playoffs this year. So this might have been their one chance to get a guy high. So I'm going to give this pick an A.
I think the consensus grade around this table is an A.
Yeah.
I just want to add that those new Commanders jerseys are tough as hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
we need to
jerseys.
make a separate video.
Sonny
of Jaguars.
Styles looked amazing loading that jersey. It's just
They traded up for that? Yes, we will be making a video. Would it be cool if we made a video breaking down like every team?
Every
Yes.
Jaguars.
No, we could go by division. It'd be division.
By division, yes, I like that idea.
We can go by division. I think we should do that. All right. If you guys think that's a good idea, be sure to leave a like.
One more thing about the Commanders is their linebacker room looks good, but everywhere else on that defense is ass still.
Okay.
They got who the hell is in their secondary?
Let's still be fair here.
No,
The
it's
rest of
not.
the defense,
It's a great pick. I'm just saying their defense ain't doing shit.
They weren't gonna fix it with one pick, but
Sonny
this
Styles
is pretty much as
130
close as
tackles
you
this
can
year.
get. Yeah. All right. Number 8, Jordan Tyson to the Saints.
Can I
You can go.
They needed somebody for Shaw to throw to besides Chris Olave. I mean, last year he was okay, but he had concussion and head issues before. Like he had to miss. I think 2 years ago he had to miss the rest of the season because of one. So I love this pick. It gives him another playmaker and it takes a lot of stress off Shaw. So hey.
I'm going to say Jordan Tyson. I'm also going to give this pick an A. I think he's the best receiver in this draft class.
He copied me.
Okay. And he's the best receiver in this draft class. He's got the highest ceiling of anybody. It's just the injury concerns that even his final season at ASU, he put up, 700 yards, something like that? 800? 800.
He played 8 games. It was 100 yards a game.
Yes. He is, without a doubt, the best receiver in this class to me. Pairing him with Chris Olave really helps out Shuck. I think their offense is going to be a fun one to watch this year. It already kind of was at the end of last year. And they had guys like Deshaun Vele as their number 2 receiver. So I'm going to give this pick. I'm tempted to go A+, but since I think for me an A+ means you have to have one of the best people in the draft fall to you. So I'm just going to say
In
A
a position
here.
of need.
Yes, A.
I think you look at who was on the board at this pick, and you look at Jordan Tyson. I think really the only dude that you can say could have been a better pick was Ruben Bain here. That pass rush.
I like that because without Cameron Jordan, they're kind of devoid of pass rush.
Chase Young
but let's keep in
is also-
mind,
yeah,
Chase Young. Their defense was actually pretty good. Their defense in 2026 or 2025, the defense was not the problem. The offense struggled, and then toward the end of the year when Shuck started doing good, they actually started winning games because the defense wasn't the problem.
Sidetrack, the Packers made a good pick.
Okay. Anyway, Jordan Tyson should help this offense keep that end of the year form all year.
I'm going to have to give it an A.
I give it A-.
Because what Wright said, you have to have one of the best players follow you for it to be an A+. But I'm a firm believer in Chuck and giving him all those opens. I mean, he has ETN, Kamara, Olave, and now Tyson. I mean, their D line, without Cameron Jordan's not good at all. But
I agree. This is a big prove it year for sure. If
he can't do it with these weapons here, then
what do you mean? You're forgetting the best weapon of all, the best tight end in the league, Juwan Johnson. He's worth the first round pick. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah. All right. So number 9, we have the Browns taking the first O lineman of the draft, Spencer Fano. I'm gonna let Logan start on this one.
I'm a big O line prospect guy. I love.
Yeah, because you're an O lineman.
But I really think the Browns made such a good pick, and Fano is a great O lineman. But really, is this the dude that the Browns need? Do the Browns need a flexible tackle guard combo, dude, or do you just need that powerful franchise? I think Maui Noah was the pick here. You trade it back. Maui Noah falls right into your lap at 9, and for the Browns who are trying to build up this offense, I think getting a dude who I think can be very much like Penei Sewell, just this franchise dude. He's just an anchor in your O line. I think that's more valuable than what I still think. Fano's going to be a good O lineman for the Browns, but I think you made a good pick, but you missed on a great pick. That's just how I feel. I'll give this pick a A-.
I'm going to agree there. Spencer Fano is a fantastic guy. Maui Noah right there, consensus best tackle in the draft. And Fano, I do like the ability for him to potentially bounce inside, because really this Browns offensive line is one of the worst in the league. They kind of need 5 new starters at all their positions. So I can't criticize them for going for someone that can really play any of the 4 that they need and find which one they like them at the most. But in my opinion, I'd rather go for a guy who's really good at tackle than a guy who might be really good playing either tackle or guard. So I'm going to give this pick a B+. I'd say if you told me they were getting Spencer Fano at 9 and Maui Goa went before, I'd give this pick an A. But just because of how Maui Noah was there, I'm going to give this a B+.
I'm going to give this an A because I think Maui Noah is obviously the top tackle, but I don't think Fano's that far behind him. Like it's like 1A and 1.5, or 1 and 1.5. Like it's
1 and 1A, 1B.
Well, no, 1A, 1B is like the same pretty much. But
School smart.
1A, 1C.
Whatever, sure. Anyway, so I'm still going to give it an A. I like that they got extra picks. They got probably their target, because I'm assuming if they didn't trade back, they were still taking them at 6. So they got extra picks. You move back, you got your target. So I'm going to give it an A because they got someone to protect Shadir's blind side.
I mean, the Browns are probably having one of the best drafts so far in the league, just with the weapons they took. But Maui Noah was right there in their laps, and they just cucked him. I mean, Fano's good, but he's just not as good as Maui Noah was. And
you might add some more depth, then he's not as good.
You stole the reasons. I'm trying not to LARP here.
Let's move on.
All right, you know what?
I'm going to give it a B+.
All right, we're going to go to number 11. It's Caleb Downs to the Cowboys.
You
They
skipped
trade
that.
up-
You said Maui Noah.
Oh, yeah. That's because we were just talking about him anyway.
I mean,
Okay,
Just kidding.
you know what? Let's let Nathan start off here. Let's start off.
They should have taken Downs, but it's not a bad pick. Downs was right there.
Who was their other tackle besides Andrew Thomas?
Okay, I'll
Kevin
oppose
Neal?
you. I think
But
Maui
Downs
Noah
was right
was
there.
the correct pick here. I mean,
Maui Noah was a
you
hot
can
He's not as a top
understand.
5 talent.
You can understand where people would be mad about not taking Downs, but if you really look at this team, Maui Noah is going to be way more valuable to a young Jackson Dart, to that young Giants offense. I mean, the dude is a beast. I mean, he's the number 1 offensive lineman in this draft.
1 sack allowed all year.
And the thing with Maui Noah is, even though I don't agree with putting him at guard, there are guard concerns with this team. If they slot him in the guard,
He's still going to do good at guard.
this was your second pick that you got for you fleeced the Bengals on this deal. I absolutely hated that trade for the Bengals, but I just really think that even if they want to put him at guard, that's great value for being able to get him at 10.
Well, here, I'm going to go, my pick's A+ here. I'm going to follow my philosophy.
I'll give it an A+ as well.
I'm going to follow my philosophy. If you have a young QB, you surround him with as many weapons and protection as possible, because you want him to succeed, because the number 1 thing in this league is you have a quarterback that's good. Like, your team's not going to be good outside of that. So they got the best tackle in the draft. They have an open spot at one of their tackles. They got Andrew Thomas, who's really good at the other tackle. They have Evan Neal. So yeah, A+.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this pick an A+ too, just because I think they got a top 5 talent to follow them at 10. It's probably one of my few A+ I'm gonna give out. I think I said Mendoza was an A+. I'm just gonna say A now. But with Maui Goey here, you have Jackson Dart. Last year he ran the ball a lot, and he was taking big hits almost every game, and it kind of became a concern, especially with Brian Dable. And I know he's not there anymore. They have Matt Nagy, which, can I just say, you have the potential to have one of the most fun offenses. Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, Malik Neighbors, and you put like the most boring, the most
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, the most boring offensive coordinator in Matt Nagy. Maybe he drew in Darnell Mooney, but still, now you have Andrew Thomas and Francis Mauigoa as your tackle duo, and I don't know what it is with the Giants. They have now 2 fantastic tackles and 3 fantastic DNs. So if the Super Bowl was won based off your people on the outer end of the line, the Giants would probably be Super Bowl contenders. So I'm going to give this an A+ because these are the most important positions in the league, and I think the Giants are hitting home runs at them.
I mean, let's keep this.
I'm going to pause. All right. Okay, so now we finished up with Mauigoa. We're going to go to number 11. Caleb Downs, the Cowboys.
Just kidding me.
The Cowboys trade up one spot. I commend them for that. They stopped someone from leapfrogging them. Who wants to get us started?
I'll go.
A+.
We
do we really need to break
They got
A+,
the best player.
I'll say like
the best player in the draft that
not best player, top 3 player in the
best player in the
draft.
draft.
At a big position
Best
of
player in
need.
the draft.
Yeah, at position of need, he took a fall similar to like every safety. I don't know why they always fall, but they always
I guess
fall
it's
and they
because
all
teams
turn
saw
into.
Jamal Adams and now they're all scared.
Yeah, except teams have been pretty. Who was the first round safety? The last like big first round safety was it Hamilton?
Kyle Hamilton.
And look at
every time one of these like big name safeties falls, they end up being really good.
Yeah,
and I think Caleb Downs is
Hamilton,
the next one.
2-time first team All Pro now or something.
Yeah, I don't know, Notre Dame fan. You should know this.
Let's go. We need to talk about
Yeah.
pick 12, right?
We all know it's an A+.
Hey, we're letting Logan
is a
start off with pick 12.
great pick.
Caden
Fine.
Proctor.
Caden Proctor at pick 12 to Miami.
Let me
So ignore those sounds. We're watching day 3 of the draft right now. We'll get into that later, but
I'll start with Ken Proctor. Miami has no plan for their future. This pick, you do not go O-line at this point in the draft. You miss on the 2 O-linemen that were valuable in this spot. Caden Proctor, there's Miami fans defending this pick. Caden Proctor is as raw as an O-line prospect as you can find. The dude, yes, he produced at Alabama, but his footwork, his size needs so much work to actually get him to be a solid franchise left tackle. It's just not the pick for a team like Miami, who desperately, I think, needed to trade down in this spot. They've lost a bunch of targets. They could take Ruben Bain, who DN isn't their biggest need. You could take the value of Ruben Bain here, but even then, I'm fine with them passing up on him here. But to take Caden Proctor is kind of just a joke, in my opinion, and I think I'm giving this pick a D+. This is not the move for a team as vulnerable as Miami is. They've lost so many people. Their wide receiver room's terrible. I would like a Mekhi Lemon pick here. I think that was could be a good move, but this is D+ for me. This is just kind of an embarrassing pick for the Dolphins.
even if they liked Caden Proctor, you could have traded down another 6 spots or so, and still gotten him probably. Like, you could look at the other tackles. Really, there's an argument that the other ones would be better for a team like the Dolphins, because Caden Proctor is going to start day one. And he's going to have to defend whatever. I mean, that offense is going to be Malik Willis and Devin Achane. They have no receivers. I don't know who they took in day 2 or day 3, but that doesn't even matter. Caden Proctor here, I don't like the thought process here. I mean, you traded down 1 spot, and I gave him that. But there's an argument, like, you would have been better off if you stayed at 11 and just took Caleb Downs. Like, there's an argument that would have been, that not even an argument, that straight up would have just been better if they just stayed there. Took a much better player, much better prospect than Caden Proctor. So I'm going to give this pick a C. I'm going to go C minus, just because later in the draft, I think they also reached on people.
I'm going to give it a C because I'm never going to hate on a team who I'm assuming is they're going to have Willis for a couple of years and they're going to try to draft a franchise QB in like 2-3 years.
Unless Willis works out.
Yeah. So I'm assuming I'm never going to hate on the team for picking O-line. Yes, there's better O-line, but I don't think Proctor's going to be a bad player any means. So That's what I'm giving it. See, if they would have taken like someone like Freeling, I would have definitely given it like a B or A. But yeah,
They just
So,
should have been.
see.
I'm gonna give it a C minus just because they're way better O linemen in the draft here, like Freeling or C minus. Malik Willis is fucked.
All right. So now we're going to go on to another very controversial pick. You all know who it is. Number 13, Rams take Ty Simpson.
Can I start with this?
Yes.
I'm going next.
This is a pick I feel like you can't really commentate on. This is just one of those picks where
Wait and see.
Wait, yeah.
you can't comment. You're not going to be able to know. Simpson, obviously, this is a little bit early for him, but the Rams don't really. There's not really trade value at this spot in the draft. No one was looking to move up, so you're just kind of forced to take your guy. I think this was kind of a surprising pick because it used to be a very popular pick.
Yes, like a couple months
And then
ago.
people kind of moved on. They thought the Rams were going to go more for contending this year, but I like the idea of securing a quarterback early for an already good team, but there's not much you can say about this pick. You're just gonna have to wait. We're just gonna have to wait to see how this pans out. There's not too much that you're gonna.
This isn't the Rams I know. The
Oh,
Rams
no,
I know.
no,
I was gonna
see?
say I was surprised. It's Rams front office always is about like value and
Winning now.
and it's just a very like
Forward thinking
Yes.
pick.
Well, I think that I'm just gonna give it base B because it's.
I'll
not
give
bad.
it a B plus.
I'm gonna give it base B. I mean, I think their thinking was similar to I think the Falcons a couple years ago. The Falcons just when they took Penix, their thinking was we're not gonna be in this position. Kirk Cousins is old. We're gonna be competing, so we're gonna get the young QB now while we're in the top 10. And I think that's what the Rams thought. Except the Rams are not the fucking Falcons, and they're actually good.
That's a really good pick.
Because now they don't have to rebuild. Because once Stafford is probably going to retire in a couple years, they're going to be like, who the hell's our QB? Now they know who their QB is. He's going to sit behind a Hall of Fame QB. So it's not a bad pick, but he could be a total boss. We don't know. We're going to have to wait like 3 years before he could regrade this.
I'd say honestly we could say him next year. I think
Well,
this
he
could
might
be
not play,
this could be
so.
Stafford's last year. I think he might be. I think if they can't make the Super Bowl, I don't think Stafford's going to stick around for one more year. So I think he will be the starter by next year. But like I said, we'll wait to see.
I was going to shit all over this pick a little bit, but when I think about it, like, the Rams are not going to be drafting anywhere below pick 20 the next couple of years. So Ty Simpson is probably the best quarterback they're going to be able to draft for the next couple of years. And he's perfect because he's one of those guys who you want to sit for at least a year. Just so that, and he's going to be sitting behind last year's MVP. I love the thought process of this pick. It's what the Packers do, and I'm a Bears fan, so it really annoys me when the Packers do it. If I was an NFC West fan, I'd hate this, just because I think now you're going to have to worry that after Matt Stafford's gone, you're going to have a young quarterback stepping in to a loaded offense. You still have Puka Nacua. Even though Devontae Adams is going to be gone, like, that offense with Sean McVay. Sean McVay is one of my favorite coaches in the league. I know I sound like everybody else, but so I'm going to give this pick an A minus.
I'm going to go with Bannon and just give it a base B because Red was right. When's the next time they're going to have a pick this low with the team they have now?
High, you mean?
Pick this high with
Next
the
doesn't
team they
really
have
have to be
now.
low or-
If Ty Simpson could just develop under Matthew Stafford, who's the best quarterback in the league right now, then this pick will pay off 100%. So I'll just give it the base B.
All right, we're gonna.
Let's get the 16 and take
Okay. We're gonna have our O-line extraordinaire here talk about pick 14, where the Ravens took Vega
What other
Owane.
pick do you go
A plus.
here?
Olai Vavega Yanni is the best guard in this draft. I think
no
he's
shit.
better than Spencer Fano will be at guard if he's moved to guard. It's the most mocked pick you see for the Ravens. It's just the correct choice. You can't really. What is there to say about this? This is an A. It's an A pick. You can't give it A plus because this is kind of his draft range. They took what they needed and they took the best player at that spot. It's kind of that simple. I think there's not much to talk about here. If I'm being
I'm in
honest.
between A and A plus because it's
the
the
best guard
best
in the
player
draft.
at your number one position of need, but it wasn't really a fall. But it was who they wanted, so I'll give it an A plus because he didn't fall, but it was still the best player at your best position.
I mean, pretty plain and simple. Everybody saw this coming. You look at almost any mock draft from the last 2 months or so, and you'll see the Ravens taking Vega here. And we all knew interior offensive line was their biggest need. Plug and play day one starter right here immediately turns a big need into a big strength. And personally, I think Owane here probably either the best or a top 3 offensive guard prospect in the last 3 years. And the Ravens are going to be once again, one of those teams where they're not going to be drafting this high again for the next couple of years. You go ahead and get your franchise guard. So, in the Lamar, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm glad that unlike a lot of these teams, the Ravens did not screw this pick up. So I'm going to go A, just because this was his draft.
You can't give it an A plus because like they didn't really.
Well, the next pick will be an A plus. We'll get into that.
I mean, there's no other player to pick at this spot for the Ravens.
All right, let's move on to 15.
This is 15. Let's all just all right. Table wide consensus here.
It's an A+.
I mean, Ruben Bain here.
They were projected Mesidor, his worst teammate. I mean, he's not bad by any means, but he is the lesser of the two. And everyone and their mama was projecting Mesidor to the Bucks.
I mean,
and they got the better of the two.
Your biggest need is D end, and in my opinion, you got the best D end. Just at 15 without having to move up, without having to give up any capital. It's simple as that. It's A+. I don't know what there is to talk about.
A+. There really isn't anything to talk about. Plain and simple. He's probably the best pure D end in this class. A fantastic run defender. The Bucks defense last year struggled in all aspects of that, especially down the stretch. This guy was way better in the playoffs even. That's what the Bucks want. And when you get a top 5 talent falling to you at 15 and you don't have to trade at all, there's nothing else to say. A+. All right. So the next pick is a more interesting one.
Let's let Nate start off with this.
All right. Kenyon Sadiq goes to the Jets.
He's the best tight end in the draft, but why would you take him here? I don't feel like there was a need to take Kenyon Sadiq here. I mean, you're gonna have weapons for fucking Geno Smith and Cade Klubnik apparently now, but.
Whoever they take.
I'm gonna give it a C plus just because he's the best tight end we've seen in a while, but
not in a while. Do you remember
last year? Last year there were 2 tight ends better.
Loveland and Warren. What?
I like Sadiq better than.
All right.
My opinion is the thought process behind this pick is, as everyone knows, the Jets are set up for the future. They have how many draft picks?
Yes.
They got this.
They have
The thinking behind
three
this
first
is,
Look at all the weapons they got.
I think there was always a plan to end up moving back up into the first round. I mean, there's so many offensive weapons in this draft. Sadiq, you were not going to get Sadiq later on. I think you already have this pick. You take Sadiq at 16. I don't think he would have ever fell past 19.
No need for the pick.
Sadiq is going to... See, Mason Taylor is good, but he's not going to be... Sadiq can be your franchise tight end. And for a team like the Jets that are just trying to get as many good players at as many positions as they can, getting a dude like Sadiq at tight end and just locking him down. And they traded up pick 30 and took Omar Cooper at wide receiver.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later.
Because I agree with that.
I think you're not sweating. This isn't a team that's trying to stretch their draft picks. They're sitting on a gold mine of draft picks. Taking a tight end like Sadiq here is no problem. I'll go to B.
So right here, I think the thought process, they just wanted to take the best possible offensive skill player on their board. I guess they liked Kenyon Sadiq more than they liked Mekhi Lemon, and I can't fault them for that.
I would agree.
Sadiq here, he is going to be your franchise tight end. And, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but if I'm a quarterback and I'm at the top of the first round next year, I'm hoping the New York Jets take me. They'd be stepping into an offense. In a vacuum, I'd say this pick is a little questionable. This pick in a vacuum, I'd say is a B or a B minus. I'll decide later when I'm editing this, but... when you take the context that they got Omar Cooper later, I gotta give this pick an A. So
my thing is, I'm giving this an A right off the bat because people like to think about this year, but you gotta think of the broader scheme. What are the Jets historically known for? Never developing quarterbacks. I think they're every year. Sam Darnold comes in, Geno Smith. They come into shitty situations, they suck, and they go back and do. So what are the Jets finally doing
for Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson too. I forgot about that. No one. They drafted Garrett Wilson like a year or 2 after him. But my thing is, they are finally doing it the right way, building the offense before the QB. So when the QB next year comes in, or who knows, maybe Cade Klubnik, doubt it, but when he comes in, he's going to have Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper, Sadiq. He's got 2 really good tackles.
Breece Hall,
exactly. Their offense is set up for good. They are finally doing the right thing and getting the offense built before the QB. Not building around the QB, they're building for the QB.
And they beefed up the defense. And once
we'll
again,
talk about that later.
When we do the breakdown on the AFC East, I'm going to be raving about the Jets.
This is going to be one of the most interesting teams to watch next year. Once they get their quarterback, this is going to be... I mean, this is either just going to be a huge fail or one of the biggest,
smartest moves.
one of the biggest comebacks we're ever going to see from a team.
I'm calling their drafting
CJ
CJ Carr next
purely
year.
off Madden purposes.